Am I obsessed with Evercade? Yeah. You know, those Evercade consoles behind me? And why am I so mission critical of Blaze Entertainment and Hyper Megatech? Stay tuned and find out.
I'm Warren Davis, and you're watching the Evercade Effect.
Evercade Effect.
Welcome to the Evercade Effect. This is your host, Ed. And as I mentioned today, we're going to talk about maybe my obsession with Evercade and why I'm so critical with Blaze Entertainment and Hyper Megatech and all that. Well, so for those of you who don't know or if you've never heard of the Evercade, it started off as a portable handheld device that could play carts. You know, it's all emulation, but to kind of simulate like the good old days and kind of give you that awesome retro experience. Later on, they came out with a console, and then recently they've kind of come out with this updated EXP handheld. You can see behind me that the versions that I have are the special edition of the black handheld there, and the purple one, which is limited time, and of course, this is the special edition of the VS console. Yeah. So, anywho's will be. Just wanted to point out for those of you who maybe are unfamiliar with Evercade or anything else, in the thumbnail you saw the OG white one and then the current VS that you can get now. But I don't own that one, so I'm unable to show that here because I have the special edition. Anywho, so let's get to the point. I thought it was important for me to talk about the subject because a lot of the time on Evercast, and if you're also new to the channel as well, Evercast is a weekly podcast that I do with me and my friends and all that. And we talk about everything Evercade related, Evercade news, and all that awesomeness. And a lot of the times, I'm mission critical. You know, I say a lot of stuff about Blaze and Hyper Megatech, which really they're the same company. Hyper Megatech is the new Super Pocket, which I've also talked about my initial thoughts on that. If you're unfamiliar, the Super Pocket is whoop, go ahead and click on the card somewhere up there. Just wanted to make sure there was a current, updated opinion. For me, part of a huge reason why I love Evercade, as I mentioned earlier in the video, is the nostalgia aspect. The fact that you go ahead and you get a cartridge. Yes, it's emulation, but I don't care about that. What I care about that is the fact that you have a collectible. And I have all those carts behind me. The Steam Deck, you can't see its collection. Don't get me wrong, I love the Steam Deck. That's another video. But I can actually see all my carts. I can touch all my carts. There's booklets I can go into. I can look at it. There's a collectability of it. It's physical media, especially nowadays with the costs of, getting original carts and everything. The prices are just insane. So it's kind of a way to re-own that nostalgic, part of your childhood. I was somebody that unfortunately, I don't have all the carts and consoles, that I grew up with. I've talked about this on my channel as well, and so maybe this is kind of a way of me getting some of that back, right? The physical aspects. All those games, if I still want to play them, I can emulate on the PC that I'm recording this on. I can fire up on my Steam Deck. But Evercade is special. So you have the physical aspect of it. Well, what's also special? Discovery, right? You get to discover all these different games that I've never heard of before. We have the three different lines. We have the retro line, which has all your retro games for retro consoles. We have the indie games. We have the computer collections and arcade carts. So yes, we get all this awesome stuff, and you get to own that physically on a cart. And yes, it's also cool that they're legally licensed, and a lot of these games, especially those purple arcade carts, are the first time that you can own them at home on some type of physical media. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that also makes it super special there as well. And the curation, so there's going to be games you like, there's games you don't like. So pretty much, on average, when there aren't any delays, every 2 months we get a set of 2 carts. You get to open it up. You get to discover, and you get to play these new games. Now, for me, this is different, right, than, let's say, if I'm playing something like Hades, on the Steam Deck. That's a different experience, because that's a roguelike game that I'm trying to unlock everything, complete the story. I get enjoyment out of that, and I like playing it, but it's different, though. It's not the same way Evercade. And I'm going with this here, so stick with me. Same with when I go back and play carts that are older. When I mean by older, maybe it could be a year or so old, a few weeks old. I'm going back and playing it. I'm just playing those just to enjoy the games. That's not the Evercade effect or the Evercade experience. It's to actually just enjoy and play the games, which is different. Now, the huge thing that I love about this so much is you get it in the mail, right? It's like it's your birthday, it's like it's your Christmas. I mean, who doesn't love to get like an Amazon package or a package from the local post, right? And for me, my favorite part of Evercade and my favorite videos to make is when I get that package in the mail. The hype has been out there. I've seen the trailers. It kind of reminds me, back in the day, when maybe you'd see like commercials or the back of a magazine, for the game you've been wanting, and it's like, it's here, it's here, it's here. It kind of reminds me maybe getting that game for Christmas, getting that game for your birthday, and then you open it up. It's the excitement of getting a new cart. So that's the difference between buying it digitally between the store. I don't get that excitement. For me, I don't have like that element of chance, because when I'm going out and I'm spending, money on a game like that's more expensive, I've done all my research. I know pretty much if I want to know. With Evercade, $20 USD, pretty much you're taking a chance. So there's kind of like the element of surprise. And I'm the kind of person where I love the element of surprise. Except it's going to be a good loot box, right? It's not like some mystery Steam keys where there could be some good, I know, I have an idea what I'm getting. Most of the time I haven't played the games. And even if I have gone ahead and played the games like Blaster Master, then there's the nostalgia part that kicks in. So then it's a double whammy, right? And that's why I'm really looking forward to the latest card from NCSoft. So yeah, there's an element of surprise. You can't, like, the only way to live that experience of having the element of surprise and getting that fresh new cart is to actually get it, right? When I go back and I play an old collection, there's no way you can relive that experience. It's already been done. Same with maybe like buying a game digitally from the store for Steam. You can't relive that experience. It's just so exciting to open it up, look at the booklet for the first time, and then I go ahead and record my video, I do my first impressions, and I get to share this with you all. Like, I love that. So part of it is my own personal experience of looking at it, and the fact that I get to share it with everybody, here on my channel. I love that. There's no way to replicate it, except to keep doing it. And I'll be honest, sometimes I enjoy that so much, I feel like, there's no games to play. Really? Really, Ed? You've got all that behind you. And kind of what I mean, I guess, in my mind is I'm like, I want to live that experience again. I love that. And then once I do that and I play those new carts, have that initial experience, and then after about like 2 weeks or so, then it kind of wears off, right? Then at that point, now when I've done my follow-up videos 2 weeks later, either I've beaten all the games or maybe I played them enough, then I'm like, maybe I can go play something else, whether it's on my Steam Deck or maybe it's another Evercade game, but that's kind of the period where like the newness and the hyperness has worn off. Not saying that the games aren't good or anything, but just that specialness is now gone. So now I want to get to the part of why I'm mission critical with Blaze. I think because I love this experience so much, I don't want anything to mess it up. And so when I hear delays and everything else, and it's like, okay, I gotta wait another few weeks. Now, it used to be before I had the Steam Deck behind me that it was like, now I don't really even have any new, any real new games or anything else. But because I have the Steam Deck, I do play that in between. I still play that with Evercade or my PS4. So I've realized now that I have a Steam Deck, which is my main console, it's not that, again, I love that experience. And when there's delays for whatever reason, because maybe it wasn't handled well enough or whatever, I don't know the ins and outs of it, then I think that's when I get upset. 'Cause I'm like, I want that freaking experience. And so for me, I've listed before, I just want the carts. And when you have like the Hyper Megatech console, the newer handhelds, I've said that's not for me. It's cool, those who want it, but then I'm like, are they distracting and taking away from the carts? So anything else, I kind of feel like that happens. Just because of the history that we've had and the different delays, and we kind of talked about in Evercast before that if Blaze knows in the fourth quarter it's harder to get stuff, then maybe they should forecast it and kind of like and send it out to the various retailers because they kind of know how much they're going to sell, like with the Duke Nukem carts, right? So maybe I am a little too obsessed, but I think I love all this experience, and that's what Blaze is selling you. At least for me, they're selling you this experience. If I just wanted to play the games and I didn't care about the physical media or any of this other stuff, then I would just load up the ROMs and be done with it. And I think that's how I feel about the Super Pocket. Is that, and I've said this before, if I wanted to play all those, I could just load it up on my Steam Deck because they are embedded ROMs. I'm not getting the carts. Some people may not. Some people may be fine with that, but for me, having the physical carts is a big deal. Just the sound of swapping them in and out, how you feel them, just everything. That's it matters, right? So, reason I get critical is because of my passion. I love Blaze. I love these games, and sometimes I just feel like they've had a history of some things, and it's just stuff that could be avoided. So that's why when I talk about a game comes out and then when it's something new, right? Like with like a home computer collection, like with the Amiga C64, there's like day one patches. And I think, well, I mean, come on, guys, you've done all this testing. And then after a while, I just kind of hear, it's the kind of the same excuse. We have over 500 games. How can we do compatibility? I'm like, I get that, but if you load up an emulator on your PC, you're not going to have those kind of problems. So that's kind of what I compare it to. And Blaze is pretty transparent, but sometimes I kind of find maybe when I hear what I call excuses is when they have a lot on their plate, and they do have a lot on their plate now. But I think they do too much, right? And so that's my concerns. Every year it's like, hey, we've doubled our staff, but it seems like they're just trying to do too much. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. Do you feel like you're obsessed with Evercade? Are you way into Evercade? What's the deal with me? I'm more definitely obsessed with the experience, and I'm just passionate. So when I say these things, it comes from a place of love. It comes from a place of caring. Maybe I care too much, but let me know in the comments below. Do you feel the same way, or am I just mad? Anyways, before I go, if you like this type of stuff, landed here on my channel, go ahead and subscribe. Like this, share it. It really helps me out. If you want to get more involved and see behind the scenes footage, you can join the memberships for $1.99, and you can be on this next splash screen coming up. And I am going to go ahead and thank those members. As always, thanks so much for checking us out, and let me know what you think in the comments. Bye-bye.